Hi there, Unlearner. Thank you so much for taking part and being present in this episode of the UnLearners Podcast. Today, it's just me, and you and I are having a conversation about something that has been such a big deal in my unlearning journey, but also a skill that I've had to build as I've been thinking about how to step into the next version of myself, how to really become what I feel is next for me. And today's conversation is about courage. It's about having the courage to unlearn. Because let's face it, it takes a whole lot of courage to really step into the next version of yourself. So I want to start this episode off with a really interesting and somewhat funny story that happened back when I was still a primary school teacher. So we were having our school gala at the time, and all of the little children were in their swimming costumes and their caps. It was a super exciting day, and we all went down to the school pool to participate in the gala. All of the children were grouped into their houses. So we had 4 different houses as part of the school, and all of the children were sitting down getting ready for some swimming. And as we went down, I was one of the house mothers. So basically what this means is that I am the teacher that's responsible for keeping all of my children in a group and then ushering them to the swimming pool when it was time to swim. So here's what happened. All of my little babies were nice and ready. So this was grade 1. So these were really, really small children. And I got them nice and ready. And then one adorable little boy came up to me and he said, "Miss Njapa, I don't think I can swim today. I'm not okay. I'm really, really scared that something bad is going to happen to me while I'm in the water. Can I just sit down and not swim?" You can imagine. If you know me, you can imagine what happened. So I looked at this amazing little boy in his eyes and I said to him, "Okay, sweetheart, sit down. You don't have to swim with the other children." "Fine, sit down." So he sat back down. And then I ushered all of the other little children to the pool. And they stood in their line and they were all ready to swim against the other houses. Now, what happened next is what I'd love for you to take away from this story. The teacher who was in charge of lining all the children up at the pool and making sure that all of the little girls and boys were there came up to me and he said, "Miss Njapa, there's a little boy missing in your group. Where is he?" I leaned in a little bit closer to him and I said, "Well, he's a little bit nervous. He doesn't feel like swimming today because he's just not quite in it. And he's scared. He's scared that something's going to happen." And then this teacher bravely walked past me, with all due respect. He walked past me and he went to the little boy and he crouched down to his level. And he said to him, "Okay, now I know that you're scared, but I want to promise you that nothing is going to happen. There are teachers all around this pool looking after you to make sure that if anything goes wrong, we are there to save you. Now I want you to jump into that pool and try your best." And you should have seen how that little boy stood up after that little pep talk. He had his chest puffed out and he walked over to the pool on his own. And I just watched him and I was like, "You were scared 2 seconds ago." But for me, it was such a beautiful lesson in how sometimes it's so important for us to expose ourselves to courage, because you won't always have the confidence. And this is an idea that I've learned over time. You won't always have the confidence, but you can build the courage in that moment to be a little bit brave. So today's conversation is all about courage, how you can be courageous, how you can build the courage that it actually takes to jump into the next version of yourself, because you're not always going to feel like jumping into the swimming pool. Sometimes it feels like it's steep. Sometimes it actually makes you scared. So welcome to this episode of The UnLearners.
The UnLearners. Learn, change, learn, change,
The Unlearn. I think if you take one courageous step at a time, it's going to make such a change. The UnLearn.
learn, change, grow.